low in the context of the developed world. Only Germany's and Canada's are lower. So it's scare tactics. That's the third type of scare. The first is the police, the second is racism, the third is the scare that you have to take job cuts. Well, we don't. My very final point is about TUSC, Trade Union Socialist Coalition. I couldn't have dreamt up a better manifesto. Have you seen it? Have you gone online and look at it? Have you printed stuff out? The actual manifesto. I was going to, you know, on my while I was driving here, I was actually thinking, well, I better pick out 2 or 3 things out of the manifesto. But then there's so many brilliant things here. It's what socialists have been fighting for ever since I've been a politically active. Repeal the trade. I'm just going to pick out 4 or 5. Repeal the anti-trade union laws. Welcome diversity and oppose racism, fascism and discrimination. Bring home the troops from Iraq and Afghanistan. And it ends up with an independent, a democratic socialist society run in the interests of the people, not the millionaires. So my final sentence, although I often do the same as Hannah when she says my final sentence, there's always a couple more afterwards. My final sentence is that at last, we have the opportunity to build something. We have the opportunity to build a party for the working class, black, brown, white, men, women, straight, LGBT, old, young. At last we have this opportunity. And the crowd here tonight is actually 2.5 times, 3 times as big as when we launched the No to EU in Brighton. Whether that means we're going to get 2.5 times as many as the votes we got last time, I don't know. But my very final sentence is this, that 40 odd years ago, 46 years ago, for the only, actually he got elected twice, Brighton Kemp Town, and I canvassed for him, 1964, 1966, Brighton elected the only socialist MP that Brighton's ever had. He was called the Red Fox by the local paper. He was pro-Communist Party, good relations with the Communist Party. He was a leftist, he was a socialist. 46 years on, comrades, it's time to turn Kemp Town socialist ready.
Okay, we've got a couple of speakers.
I want to start off though by looking at some developments in Brighton, and I'm going to hold something up here. If the television cameras were here, is there anybody from the Argus here? Oh right, that means I can swear, right? I'm going to hold this up because I've been twice up to Sussex University and I want to welcome the students here to Stop the Cuts camp. I've been a teacher in higher education for 30 odd years. I'm a professor in education. I've tried to get protest movements going at various universities, and what I've seen at Sussex University has been the most magnificent that I've seen in higher education. Protests against cuts, protests against cuts in jobs, cuts in services. It's been the most magnificent I've seen since the events of 1968. So I'm going to just hold this up in solidarity with the Sussex students. That's what it says. Because as the speakers will know, 6 students have actually been suspended for exercising their democratic right to occupy a building. And that democratic right, even the local paper, I'm not going to read out the editorial, but you know, I've been picking up papers lately, like the local paper, the Argus, and it could almost have come from the Socialist, or Socialist Worker, or Socialist Resistance, or the Morning Star. What it's done, it's talked about in the editorial, it says Sussex University management gone too far. It's a basic right to demonstrate.